Conditions were ideal with the roof closed overhead. Scotland opened brightly but were rocked back on their heels when Ali Price's pass was intercepted inside his own half by Gareth Davies, and the Welsh scrum half had the pace to get away and charge to the Scottish line for the opening score of the game. Chris Harris unable to prevent Davies from getting over. And good work from Corey Hill to Scott Williams, who fed Halfpenny close to the line. The fullback, the sixth highest scorer of all time in the championship, Halfpenny got over for his second of the game. Steph Evans can claim real credit for the wonderful flick pass which set Halfpenny up. 7 minutes from the end, the impressive Shingler, who was NatWest man of the match, made another break before the ball was swung out to Hadley Parks. He timed his pass to Steph Evans to perfection, and the flying winger literally became the flying winger to get over for a one-handed finish. Who spotted the gap and raced over to avoid a whitewash and give the visiting supporters something to cheer about. From the quick throw-in, Thomas still had a huge amount to do from 60 metres out, but the Racing 92 winger showed tremendous acceleration to run through the Irish defence before getting over the line for a spectacular score. And Eddie Jones' side made the start that reflected that confidence. A beautiful movement of the ball from left to right through the hands of Farrell, Ford, Teo and May before Anthony Watson finished in the corner for a superb opening score. Then England were back in full flow, and one man in particular. When May fed Watson out wide, the winger still had plenty to do, but the Italian defence was slack, and Watson hit top gear to charge for the corner and dot down for his and England's second try of the game. As Italy went through a number of phases, the ball was recycled. And fly half Tommaso Allan produced a wonderful pass to Tommaso Benvenuti out wide. The Benetton wing raced over for an excellent score. And good running. Ford picked out Farrell on the wraparound, and the number 12 slipped through the gap to race away for a third score of the game for the men in white. The Exeter Chiefs number 8 in the side in the absence of Billy Vunipola took his chance and showed that he had a decent turn of foot to sprint clear for the score. Just short of the hour mark, Italy bounced back with another score. There was another pass over the top to the wing which undid the English defence. Benvenuti looped a pass out to Mattia Bellini on the wing. Farrell and George Ford combined well, as they so often do, to open up the Italian rear guard, and the Leicester fly half skipped over for a score that ended any hopes of an Italian comeback. Sam Simmonds burst through for his second and England's sixth try of the game. Simmonds again showing great pace for a number 8 and having a dream championship debut. They took advantage of tired Italian legs. Simmonds with a pop pass to his clubmate Jack Noel, who glided over for a 7th England try. But when Conor Murray picked a pass to Robbie Henshaw, the Leinster man wouldn't be stopped. Jack Conan, making his championship debut, played a big part in the score, combining well with Murray before the scrum half found clear ground and charged to the line for a second try for Ireland. But Bundy Aki spotted the gap and bulldozed his way over the line for Ireland's third try of the game. And with the Italian defensive line a little disorganised, Aki seized the moment and sprinted through the gap before picking a perfect pass to Keith Earls. The Munster man hit top gear to race over in the corner for Ireland's 4th try of the afternoon. The Italians were authors of their own misfortune 4 minutes after half-time. The normally reliable Sergio Parise with the loose pass in midfield, which was picked off by Henshaw. The Irish number 13 away, and despite the best efforts of Tommaso Benvenuti, Rory Best forced his way over for the score. The 35-year-old proving the Italians in the crowd had little to cheer about on the day, but the visitors did get on the score sheet. Dan Levy allowed Tommaso Castello evade his tackle attempt, and when he picked out Tommy Allen, the out half was away for the first Italian score of the day. And it was beautifully conceived. Devin Toner to Carberry, and Jacob Stockdale finished the move to push Ireland closer to the 50-point mark. Into the last quarter of the game, Italy scored their second try. Matteo Minozzi did really well initially, skipping past Larmour before Parisi took it on. And although his pass inside looked loose, substitute Eduardo Gori was quickly onto it to finish. 11 minutes from time, in what was a very open match, Ireland notched try number 8. Castello's pass intercepted by Stockdale, and the Ulster man backed himself to go directly to the line. It was Stockdale's second of the game, and his 6th score in 6 tests. Ben Benuti with the looping pass to Jaden Hayward before Minozzi was sent away to race over for the try, and unlikely as it may have seemed at half-time, the home side, looking for a record 15th consecutive home win in the championship, were quickly out of the traps, and Owen Farrell can claim a lot of credit for the opening score. The Saracens man produced a perfect kick, and Johnny May was quick enough to profit. As they threatened in the Welsh 22, Farrell threw it wide to Joe Launchbury, who did superbly to collect the ball high before a magical one-handed pass back inside for May to slide over for the score. The Racing winger had a huge amount to do from an almost standing start, but he managed to skip past the attempted tackles of Russell, Horn and then Hogg before sailing over the line for his 2nd try in as many games. A flash of brilliance from Thomas. Johnny Gray showed great strength, bouncing off the French defender before Gilchrist found Russell, and he swung it wide to Sean Maitland to sprint over in the corner for a vital score. And once again it was sensational play from Thomas. With his confidence sky high, he received the ball from Geoffrey Pallier and chipped ahead, having collected close to halfway. Thomas benefited from a fortunate bounce of the ball, but Laidlaw will be disappointed not to have dealt with the threat. Thomas collected, Laidlaw picked out Hugh Jones' run to perfection, and the number 13 glided over for his 8th try in just 13 appearances for Scotland. Saw him pick his spot and cleverly ground the ball to give France a 5-point advantage. And France were struggling to halt its progress. Initially it looked like Italy were over for the try, and Bastereau was once again at the heart of it. He burst through a couple of tacklers before offloading to Hugo Bonneval. The fullback combined with Remy Grosso before racing clear for France's 2nd try of the night. Imagination and invention had been in short supply. When it eventually came to Bastereau, the Toulon centre wasn't going to be stopped, using his bulk and power to drive over the line for a 3rd try. But not for the first time in this season's NatWest Six Nations, the Italians showed good heart and refused to give up. Substitute Jaden Hayward showed good speed to race clear of the scrambling French defenders, and the ball broke off a French player and sat up for Matteo Minozzi to scamper over the line for the score. The Ireland number 10 played a key role with an exquisite pass to Jacob Stockdale on the wing, and the big Ulsterman raced over for a superb score. Before the ball broke to scrum half Gareth Davies, who showed speed and good footwork to slip through the Irish defensive line and sprint over for Wales' 1st try of the game. Until Bundyaki received 5 metres out and drove hard before stretching out and getting the touchdown for an important 5 points, with Dan Levy driving over for the score. The Leinster flanker, earning his 7th cap, did well to cross the whitewash surrounded by Welshmen. And despite the presence of plenty of red jerseys on the line, the Leinster prop strength was enough to get the score. Hadley Parks with a long looping pass to Josh Navidi, and on to Aaron Shingler, who ran over in the corner for his 1st ever try for Wales. But Wales showed real grit and determination to continue to bring the fight to the Irish, and on 77 minutes Scott Williams offloaded to Navidi, who in turn passed to Steph Evans, who charged over for a tremendous try. There was still hope for the men from the Valleys. Into the final minute, the Welshmen were looking to spread the ball wide for what would be a winning score, but an ambitious pass from Gareth Anscombe was intercepted by Stockdale, and the number 11 charged to the line for the score that sealed the win. The visitors seemed to lose concentration when Finn Russell collected with an advantage available. His grubber kick caused chaos, and Hugh Jones was sharpest. It bounced nicely for the Scottish centre, who cruised over the line for the opening try of the game, before Russell was once more involved, picking a pass to Sean Maitland on the wing, and he was over in the corner despite the best efforts of Anthony Watson. Once again, Jones was a central character. When he broke through, he still had to face Mike Brown and Anthony Watson, but the Glasgow man backed himself and went for the gap, forcing his way between the 2 defenders and over the line for his 2nd, and raced through for a hugely important score for the men in white. The Saracens man sliced through the flat-footed defence with ease. Peter Horn's ambitious pass wide was intercepted by Jacob Stockdale, in circumstances very similar to his late try against Wales, and the Ulsterman raced away for the 1st try of the match. Stockdale proving to be an excellent finisher. This was his 9th try.
Murray, Aki and Ringrose combined before picking out Stockdale on the wing, who danced inside and crossed for his and Ireland's second try of the match. Conor Murray was sharp enough to nip into the gap, and with Aki on his shoulder, the Munster man forced his way over the line. It was an interesting setup for the backs from the scrum, and it paid off. Through the hands of Laidlaw, Russell, Hogg and Maitland, who found Kinghorn out wide. And replacement hooker Sean Cronin finished with a flourish to snatch the bonus point. It was a moment of desperation from the English fullback, but it left his side trailing 16 points to 9 and down to 14 men for 10 minutes. Daly did well from a wide position to tap back inside to Johnny May, and he dived over for a try. Gareth Davies passed to Hadley Parks, and he forced his way past Costello to cross the line for his first ever try for Wales. The lead was out to 14-0. Owen Watkin with the interception and a quick turn of foot to get away from the Italian defenders before passing to George North. He raced clear and over the line to complete an early double whammy for the Welsh. The Italian full-back did extremely well to get the touchdown in the corner. North drove towards the line and Davies quickly fed the on-rushing Corey Hill, who crashed over for try number 3. Rhys Patchell did well to invite 2 tacklers before offloading to North, who dived over for the score. Parks, who was central to much of what was good for Wales on the day, sent a looping pass out to Justin Tipperick on the wing, and the big flanker dived over in the corner to finish off a good move. And plenty of imagination as they worked the ball right to left with a high looping pass from Carlo Canna, followed by a nice pop pass from Federico Ruzza to allow Mattia Bellini sprint clear. A late consolation. Fraser Brown had time to wait before collecting the ball and going over for the opening try of the match. And Allen, who previously played for the Scottish under-20s, produced a lovely sidestep to find the gap, race over for the score that raised the spirits of the home supporters in the Stadio Olimpico. Again, Allen was to play a central role. He displayed excellent vision with the grubber kick behind the defence. The flanker, who's on his way to Edinburgh next season with the score that brought the Scots right back into the game. Jake Polledri, on his debut for the Azzurri, did superbly in midfield, forcing his way past Ryan Wilson and going clear before picking a perfect pass to Allen. The out half sprinted over for his second and Italy's third try of the match. Sean Maitland had space to step inside and dart over the line for a vital score to bring Scotland back to within striking distance of the home side. And the Scottish number 15 skipped through the gap and over the line with a finish as bright as his orange boots. Sexton launched a high kick towards the English line, and Anthony Watson was challenged by Rob Kearney. As the ball broke loose, Gary Ringrose was quick to react and got his hands to the ball. Sexton struck the upright with a penalty kick before the Irish notched a second try in the 24th minute. And what a wonderful score it was. A crisp backline move with Bundy Aki bursting through from Furlong's pass before CJ Stander took it on. England capitalised on their numerical advantage. In the 32nd minute they got their first score of the game. Owen Farrell with a perfectly weighted kick in behind, and Elliot Daly was quickly onto it for the try. And it was a wonderful piece of individual flair from a player with confidence flowing through his veins. Ulster winger Jacob Stockdale still had plenty to do when he received the ball out wide, but his chip over Mike Brown worked out perfectly. But England kept going, and on 65 minutes they were rewarded with a second try. It was a well-worked score with George Ford to Mike Brown, and a wonderful offload from the fullback to Daly on the wing as he dashed over for his and England's second try of the game. A converted try could still win them a losing bonus point, and when Johnny May picked it up on the wing, he had a clear run to the line for the last score of the game. And that was brutally punished by Wales when Liam Williams chased Scott Williams' kick, Tran Duke fumbled, and the winger got the touchdown to open Wales' account. Laurie showed pace down the right-hand side before it was switched back inside, and Ficou was quick to spot the gap and dashed through despite a flailing tackle from Bigger. Wonderful finishing from the Toulouse centre,